You may swat them away or scream when they crawl across your floor. But what if I told you that insects have shaped human history more than kings and conquerors? Their influence is woven into our societies, from the clothes we wear to the food we eat, from booming economies to fallen empires. Today we're diving into 5 insects that changed the course of civilization, creatures that sparked global trade, spread deadly plagues, and even decided the fate of nations. Prepare to look at the world beneath your feet in a completely new light. These tiny titans have dictated the rise and fall of civilizations, influenced our art and culture, and still hold power over our lives today. Let's begin our exploration into the secret world of the insects that made us who we are. Our story begins with the silkworm, the caterpillar of the domestic silk moth, Bombyx mori. For thousands of years, this larva has been the sole producer of silk, one of humanity's most coveted materials. It spins a cocoon from a single, unbroken thread, nearly a kilometer long, creating the fabric that would captivate the world. According to legend, Chinese Empress Lezhu discovered silk around 2700 BC, and China fiercely guarded the secret of sericulture for centuries. Silk became more valuable than gold, a symbol of status, and even a form of currency. The insatiable demand for silk gave birth to the Silk Road, a vast network connecting east and west, carrying not just fabric but ideas, religions, and technologies. The Romans were obsessed with silk, draining their coffers to acquire it, and the silkworm triggered a massive transfer of wealth across continents. The Silk Road became a conduit for culture and innovation. Buddhism, paper, and gunpowder all traveled its length. Eventually, the secret of silk escaped China, smuggled by monks or hidden in a princess's hair, and sericulture spread to Byzantium, Persia, and Europe. But the silkworm's legacy was already cemented. It had woven the world closer together, sparking globalization centuries before the word existed. This tiny insect, in its quiet industry, changed the course of history. Silk's journey is a testament to how a humble caterpillar could connect continents and shape empires. The silkworm's thread is not just fabric, it's the thread of civilization itself. From royal robes to bustling trade routes, the silkworm's impact is still felt today. Its story is a reminder that even the smallest creatures can leave a mark on the world. The next time you see silk, remember the insect that started it all. The silkworm, a weaver of empires and an architect of our global past. Let's move from creation to destruction. Meet the mosquito. No animal has caused more human suffering than the mosquito. No animal has caused more human suffering than the mosquito. No animal has caused more human suffering than the mosquito. This slender insect is the world's most effective vector for disease, transmitting malaria, yellow fever, dengue, and more. Only the female bites, using a complex proboscis to draw blood and inject saliva, carrying deadly pathogens into our bloodstream. Malaria alone may be responsible for half of all human deaths in history, a staggering legacy. Mosquitoes have shaped wars and empires. Alexander the Great may have died from malaria, and in the American Civil War, more soldiers died from disease than combat. The Panama Canal's construction was halted by mosquito-borne diseases, until Dr. William Gorgas led a campaign to control their population, making the canal's completion possible. Even the fall of Rome may be linked to malaria, as marshy, mosquito-infested lands weakened the empire. Today, mosquitoes remain the deadliest creatures on Earth, responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths each year. Despite insecticides and medicines, mosquitoes evolve and resist, remaining a relentless foe. Their impact is a humbling reminder of nature's power, encapsulated in a fragile winged form. The mosquito, a tiny mass murderer that has shaped our past, present, and future. From the silent killer, we turn to the harbinger of plague. Meet the flea. The oriental rat flea Xenophila chiopus is almost invisible, but it unleashed the Black Death on medieval Europe. Living on rats, the flea carried Yersinia pestis, the bacterium behind the bubonic plague. When infected, the flea's gut becomes blocked, making it ravenous. It bites repeatedly, regurgitating bacteria into each new host. The black rat, living alongside humans, spread fleas across continents via ships and carts. In 1347, the Black Death arrived in Europe, killing up to 60% of the population in just a few years. Entire villages vanished, cities emptied, and the social order collapsed. Labor shortages empowered peasants, undermining the feudal system and sparking the rise of a middle class. The church's authority was shaken, and art became obsessed with death. The dance of death, a stark reminder of mortality. The flea, and the bacterium it carried, did more to alter Europe than any war or revolution. The plague accelerated the end of the Middle Ages and paved the way for the modern era. From devastation came transformation, a new world rising from the ashes. The flea, a tiny catalyst for massive change. Now, from a single killer to a collective force, let's meet the locust. The locust, an ordinary grasshopper transformed into a force of destruction. Under certain conditions, locusts swarm, forming superorganisms of billions that blot out the sun and roar across the land. A single swarm can consume as much food in a day as 35,000 people, devouring crops, pastures, and trees, leaving devastation behind. Locust plagues are ancient, mentioned in the Bible and the Epic of Gilgamesh, and have always threatened famine and collapse. In the 1870s, swarms in the American West caused billions in crop damage, forcing settlers to abandon their farms. Even today, locust outbreaks threaten food security for millions, and controlling them remains a monumental challenge. Pesticides are costly and risky, and once a swarm is airborne, it's nearly unstoppable. The locust is a symbol of nature's untamable power, a reminder of our dependence on a stable environment. For farmers, a swarm means helplessness and ruin. The locust has toppled economies, displaced populations, and brought nations to the brink of starvation. It is a rolling, devouring tide that erases human effort in hours. This humble grasshopper turned winged plague shows our vulnerability to the insect world, but not all insects bring destruction. Some are our lifeline. Let's meet the bee. The bee, specifically the honeybee and its wild relatives, is a symbol of life and cooperation. Bees are the world's greatest pollinators, responsible for 1/3 of the food we eat. As they collect nectar, bees transfer pollen, enabling plants to produce seeds and fruit. Without bees, our diets would be drastically poorer, and many foods would vanish. Bees are keystone species, supporting biodiversity and healthy ecosystems. Humanity's relationship with bees is ancient. From honey hunting to beekeeping, bees have been revered as symbols of industry and community. The social structure of a hive is a marvel. Workers, drones, and a queen, all cooperating for the good of the colony. Bees communicate through the waggle dance, sharing directions to food sources. But today, bees face crisis. Habitat loss, pesticides, disease, and climate change threaten their survival. The loss of bees would be an ecological and agricultural catastrophe. The bee is a symbol of our interconnectedness with nature, a tiny gardener tending the planet. Protecting bees means protecting ourselves and our future. The bee, our buzzing lifeline, and a reminder that the smallest creatures sustain us all. Now let's reflect on the legacy of these tiny architects. Next time you brush off a bug, remember, these tiny creatures have built empires and brought them down. From the silkworm's thread, to the mosquito's bite, the flea's plague, the locust swarm, and the bee's pollination, these insects have shaped our world. They are the unseen forces in the human story, proving that power doesn't always come in large packages. The most profound changes can be wrought by the smallest of beings. Our world, in so many ways, is a world that insects built, destroyed, and continue to shape every day. Which insect shocked you the most? Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Tomorrow, we'll explore just how smart insects really are. Trust me, you won't look at ants the same way again.